to dinner. B, to serve with love. C, lilies of the field. Or D, in the heat of the night.
I could go with lilies of the field.
You go with lilies of the field. Of all the answers to give, you can go with lilies of the field. Huh? Seriously?
Yeah, this may stop right here.
This your stop right here?
Yeah, man.
I'm glad this is your stop right here, because you got it right, my brother. Way to go. Like Joe. Man, you are winning some change. This is your stop. I want to congratulate you. You are a big winner, cash prize winner on Jitney 242. Look in the camera, say your name and say, you win on Jitney 242.
My name is Ryan Smith, and I just won on Jitney 242 for my people.
Yes, sir. Let me get a picture with you, my friend, because I only take pictures with winners. All right?
Let me get pretty.
Next time on the Jitney 242 ride, I don't know who it could be. Maybe it could be you.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Here's a look at tonight's top stories. West Sunrise Highway reopening draws closer as the Grand Bahama project makes major strides. Also, teachers could see earnings climb above $50,000 under the recently signed agreement between the government and Beckerwood. And Grand Key Power Bowls continue as restoration efforts face yet another delay.
The Bahamas Tonight Northern Edition starts now.
Good evening and welcome to the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. I'm Raven Davis. Thank you so much for tuning in. The reopening of West Sunrise Highway is a highly anticipated project following numerous calls from Grand Bahama residents. Well, there is now some good news to report as Minister for Grand Bahama, the Honorable Ginger Moxie, says the project is making significant progress despite an unforeseen challenge. Our Matthew Montembaro leads us off with the details in tonight's top story.
So it's moving steadily ahead. We're getting there.
Grand Bahamians have long called for West Sunrise Highway to be reopened, and work is now steadily moving forward. Minister for Grand Bahama, the Honorable Ginger Moxie, says the progress is welcome news for residents who have been waiting for the road to return to service. ZNS news cameras visited the sites where heavy-duty trucks were seen hauling materials, while backhoes continue clearing debris, visible signs that reconstruction efforts are underway. And while progress is encouraging for road users, Minister Moxie says the project has not been without its challenges.
There is the tender process that's actually happening right now as we speak on the road, reconstruction. As you are aware, there was a large man-made pool that was dug through the road. And so that has been a part of what we've been dealing with, trying to compact that and deal with the work that needs to be done before the road is actually opened and constructed.
Despite those challenges, Minister Moxie assures that work is continuing at a steady pace. While no completion date has been provided, she says paving of the roadway is expected to begin shortly.
A lot of the work has been done, and now it's just for the paving of it. So as soon as it comes back from the tender process, we'll be able to, actually it has come back from the tender process, we'll be able to definitively say how quickly, but it's not, it's soon going to open. It's soon going to open. I would give it another probably 2 weeks for the actual tender process and all that to be completed, and then for the work to start, maybe another 2 weeks after that.
For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Matthew Martinborough.
Great story, Matthew. In other news, under the recently signed agreement between the government and the Bahamas Educators, Counselors and Allied Workers Union, teachers' earning potential could climb to its highest level yet. That's according to Beckawu President Keisha Larota, who says the agreement raises the bar for educators while delivering benefits she describes as unprecedented. Our Sharelle Dames has more details in this report.
Teachers waited for 4 years during Stall's negotiation. In 2022, after Beckawu came into existence and signed the best deal educators ever received, bringing relief to teachers who had suffered during stalled negotiations. We signed an agreement that was even better than the one signed in 2022.
Salaries have long been a key part of negotiations between educators and the government. But with its latest industrial agreement now secured, President of the Bahamas Educators, Counselors and Allied Workers Union, Keisha Larota, says she is confident in the financial package negotiated for her union members.
The first industrial agreement that we negotiated was the best deal ever received by educators. Our second agreement, signed in April of this year, after 2 months of negotiations, were even better than the first.
And while negotiations between the government and the Bahamas Union of Teachers remain at a standstill, Beckawu's president says benefits secured through her union's negotiations could allow classroom teachers to earn salaries at levels she describes as unprecedented.
We negotiated salary increases in allowances, and an increase in the incremental amounts. That was unheard of. We have also increased the starting salary and the bar. And before the period in question is over, a classroom teacher can earn an excess of $50,000.
Now, Beckawu president says its members are expected to begin seeing the benefits of their newly negotiated agreement at the end of the month. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Sharelle Dames.
Well, negotiations between the Bahamas Union of Teachers and the government remain at a standstill, despite officials reporting that talks are about 90% complete. One key matter, however, remains unresolved. Questions have been raised about the length of the process, particularly after the Bahamas Educators, Counselors and Allied Workers Union signed its industrial agreement with the government in April. When asked why BUT continues to press its concerns while other unions have already reached agreements, President Belinda Wilson responded this way.
But the other teachers' union, they are indebted to the government because the government allegedly gave them registration against the law. I'm not indebted to any government, any politician, any minister of labor. We have that matter, that's a live matter in the Supreme Court. So they have to bow and they have to bend. The Bahamas Union of Teachers is 79 years old and we bend to no man.
Meanwhile, Beckawu leaders are pushing back against claims by BUT President Belinda Wilson that their union is indebted to the government and must bow and bend. Beckawu President Keisha Larota rejects that assertion, stressing that her union answers to its members, not the government. Meanwhile, Beckawu Area Vice President Michelle Ouden also dismisses the suggestion, saying the union's recent success is a result of its negotiating efforts.
The registration of Beckawu has never been contested in court. BUT registration has been contested in court. BUT contested the recognition of BECU, which is a separate issue from registration. So the Congress leader is either mistaken or ignorant. Further, BECU doesn't have to bend to any employer. We are trained, educated, sensible unionists whose interest is membership and not self-exaltation.
First and foremost, let me state unequivocally, the claim that BECU is in bed with the government is utter garbage. Perhaps I think what is difficult for some to accept is that a much younger union has accomplished a great deal in a relatively short time period. But grandstanding is not our goal. Getting the best possible results for our members.
Well, residents in Grand Cay will have to wait a little longer for power restoration, as BPL says the original Wednesday deadline will not be met. Regional Director Marvin Green says unexpected challenges delayed the process, but BPL has since met with service providers and set a new estimated arrival time for the generating unit.
Back during commissioning and testing. So the service provider wants to make sure to have all these items intact so that once they ship the unit, everything is ready to go.
Now, BPL says it remains focused on getting the unit in place and restoring service to residents as soon as possible. The company is expected to provide further details on the new timeline as the logistics are finalized.
Getting machines and equipment in and out of Walker's Key can be a challenge. Because there are no regular shipping going on there. So we want to make sure that everything is in place. So they are now given a new date. A Friday is the new arrival time.
Well, police on Albuquerque are searching for 59-year-old Desimon Ulis of Esiburu Highway, who was last seen on July 21st. Ulis is 6 feet 2 inches tall, slim-built, with a dark brown complexion. Anyone with information is asked to contact Marsh Harbor Police 911, 919, or Crime Stoppers at 328-TIPS. Meanwhile, police on Albuquerque are also searching for 36-year-old Rodney Vilsaint, also known as Biggie, of Treasure Key, Albuquerque. Police say he is wanted for grievous harm. He is described as having a dark brown complexion, standing 5 feet 10 inches tall with a slim build. Anyone with information is asked to contact Marsh Harbor Police 919 or 911 or Crime Stoppers at 328-TIPS. In other news, the conversation surrounding sexual violence is once again in the spotlight, raising difficult questions about consent, accountability, and whether enough is being done to protect those most vulnerable. In this report, our Yolanda Thompson-Everest speaks with a certified rape crisis advocate who shares information she believes many people may not fully understand when it comes to sexual assault, consent, and supporting survivors.
Advocate and sexual assault survivor Cindy Cadet says the recent video in which a young man describes an intimate encounter with an 18-year-old while saying she was in and out of consciousness points to a much larger issue.
Too much is happening. We're not safe in our homes. We're not safe when we go out. They tell us don't stay out late, stay home. They break into our homes. Where are we safe? We're not safe in the church. We're not safe anywhere.
The response to sexual violence cannot begin only after an incident has occurred, according to Gadet. She believes prevention must start much earlier through education, stronger support systems, and a culture that listens to and takes survivors seriously.
All the country knew is that a sexual assault allegation was made. And the country did what it usually does, is it does one of two things. It either completely disbelieves the woman, or they do believe her, but they blame her. and they vilify her. It's almost as if women have to either be practically beaten to death, or there has to be some sort of video or audio evidence in order for a woman to be believed when she says that she's been sexually assaulted.
She says even when a survivor does come forward, the response they receive can make a major difference, particularly when dealing with law enforcement, where they may be met with either callousness or compassion.
Some of them ask the absolute most irrelevant questions. What were you wearing? Do you think you may have given him the wrong impression?
The advocate says there is still some confusion surrounding what consent actually means and believes greater education is needed. She stresses that consent must be clear, willing, and continuous, and that a person has the right to change their mind and withdraw consent at any time, even during the act itself.
Every single person has the right to say what what will not happen to their own body.
Cadet is calling on the community to end victim blaming and reject the idea that men are simply victims of circumstance. She says men are capable of controlling themselves in every other setting. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Jolanda Thompson, Everest.
And still to come.
The BJC Passing Score program sets its sight on raising student performance. We'll have the details of that story, sports, and more when we return. Some things that are undeniably Bahamian. A good count salad, junkanoo, the way we worship, the way we take care of one another, all undeniably Bahamian. And right in the midst of our iconic things, places, and people is Commonwealth Bank. Increasing access, sponsoring dreams, working alongside Bahamians to increase the quality of their lives for more than 60 years. Commonwealth Bank, nothing more than being Bahamian. Commonwealth Bank, leader in personal banking services.
Come on down and see what Dolly Madison has in store for you. Renovate and rejuvenate at Dolly Madison.
Dolly Madison.
Great food all week at Vibes Lounge. Enjoy curry Mondays, taco Tuesdays, the Vibes Party Plate on Wednesdays, fettuccine Thursdays, and ribs Fridays. Visit Vibes Lounge, East Sunrise Highway, or call 688-8423.
Save more drugs. We got you. From cosmetics to prosthetics, what you need for your family, the brands you're looking for, the quality you expect, the prices you need and deserve. Feel the love. Save more at Save More Drugs.
Everything getting told, yes, I jump like I on the boat, then jump on the Bahamas. I got my money, I got my...
Join us on the ZNS network for Cat Island Regatta Time, Thursday, August 20th at 8 p.m.
This is where it happens. Those moments that impact our lives. Giving you the information that you need this hurricane season. Wherever there is news, we're there.
Your number one team in the North. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better.
Welcome back. Representatives of the BJC Passing Score program are once again preparing students for the national examinations with a focus on strengthening academic performance and helping to improve the country's long-standing D average. Vice President Dina Dean shares the program's plans for the upcoming school year.
BJC Passing Score is all about helping students all across the Bahamas pass their national examination with a C or above, and it's led by students, and students tutor and help other students. With my experience being an instructor, you're definitely able to see like a confidence change. So from you begin teaching them to the end, and you're able to see grades improve. We've expanded our initiative to a BGCSE level as well. So this year we would have added subjects like physics, religion, and geography.
Well, with classes running Monday through Thursday, BJC Passing Score is also looking to expand its tutoring services by adding more BGCSE subjects and introducing a SAT preparation program. Founder Jaden Newbold says the goal is to give students greater access to the academic support they need to succeed.
Every day at 6:30, we have students logging in, teaching students across the entire Bahamas. Peer tutoring is the next level. And another thing at BJC and BGCSE Passing Score, we push mastery. So when students complete our program, it's our hope that they come back to be an instructor so that we continue to inspire generations and generations to come. This is one of the ways that we can break our national average in the Bahamas.
Students on Grand Bahama got a big boost for the new school year this past Friday. Freeport Oil Company Limited, or FOCO, held a back-to-school giveaway, donating nearly 800 book bags filled with supplies to families across the island. The initiative was aimed at easing the financial burden on parents and ensuring students return to class prepared. Here is Group Marketing Manager Fabian Fernando.
We recognize that preparing children for a new school year can place additional demands on families, and through this back-to-school initiative, we hope to help ease some of the burden and ensure that our students have the tools they need to begin the school year prepared, encouraged, and ready to learn. When we support our young people, we are investing in the future of Grand Bahama. The students we are supporting today will become our future professionals, entrepreneurs, tradespeople, educators, and community leaders.
Organizers say in an effort to energize all communities on Grand Bahama, FOCO partnered with 9 organizations to support their vision for this initiative. FOCO says giving back to education remains a key part of its commitment to the community.
Last year we did a little back to school thing, and we were able to reach out to a few partners to help us with it. And this year it's grown a bit. We've got more partners this year, but what's so good about it for us, it's a financial investment, not an expense. It's an investment.
We salute our Facebook friend of the day, Creola Bari. Thank you so much for your support, and we hope you are enjoying your day. And that is a look at stories making news. Matthew, what's happening in sports?
I got the rare Raven Davis compliment to start the newscast. What was the ultimate compliment? Celebrating your achievements with family and friends. We got that coming up.
Oh, Matthew, you are just on it with the jokes. Well, thank you for that. Sports come Joe next, right after the break.
See news in the making? Call us at 352-9713 or 359-5167, or you can email us at zns3news@gmail.com.
Parents, get ready. Lighthouse International Ministry presents its Transformers Back to School giveaway Sunday, August 23rd during the 11 a.m. service. Fully loaded backpacks, uniform and shoe vouchers, plus food and fellowship. Register today.
Journey to a serene oasis. Relax. Rejuvenate. Renew. Welcome to Renew Day Spa. For appointments, call 352-RENU.
Hey, what are you doing?
I'm self-insuring my investments, starting with this tarp.
We all remember the blue tarps after the storm. Let's make sure that we are covered with more than a tarp. Don't allow your investment to be at risk. Protect your investment with one of our insurance policies. Nobody does it better. It's your
At Save More Drugs, we got you. We got what you want. We got what you need. We got what you came for. The quality you expect. The prices you need and deserve. Save more at Save More Drugs.
Knowledge has the power to change the world. And every great journey begins with a single question. Welcome to Battle of the Brains, the competition that has inspired generations of young scholars to think bigger, dream higher, and compete with excellence. Representing their schools with pride are students from Mary Star, Tabernacle, Bishop Michael Eldon, St. George's, Jack Hayward, Seventh-day Adventist Academy, Sunland, all ready to put their knowledge to the ultimate test. All from a love of science, mathematics, biology, chemistry, and physics. It's the battle of the brains, powered by Grand Bahama Power.
Welcome everyone to your Hump Day edition of the ZNS Total Sports Cave. I'm Matthew Martinborough. On the first leg tonight, a well-earned welcome is in order at the Western Air Terminal on Wednesday afternoon to congratulate the 4th straight Goodwill Championship swim team. And hearing from the record-setting athletes, they say it's an honor and a privilege to be a part of history.
I feel really proud to be a part of the team. Everyone did their best, and it wouldn't have been possible without everyone who was on the team.
It feels amazing to be a part of a record-breaking team, breaking multiple records with my team, and just persevering and coming through with the goals.
I feel great in the Goodwill games. I'm a little disappointed in my 50 fly, but I think I did well.
First-time assistant head coach for Team Bahamas Aquatics, Megan Reed, spoken like a true veteran. She says there's still more work to be done despite the historic win.
We're on a high right now, coming off of a 4-peat, but I really want them to take care of their bodies. I want them to rest, just so that they don't go into burnout. I want them to enjoy this win, enjoy this high, and then we're going to reset and refocus, getting ready for the next season.
Also congratulating the historic squad are both Ministry of Youth and Sports Officer in charge of the Northern Bahamas, Norris Bain, and Minister of Grand Bahama, the Honorable Ginger Moxie.
To be able to do one is amazing, but to do 4 in a row, it's just outstanding for the Bahamian swim community. That speaks volume about the coaches, the athletes, and the support of the government for swimming.
I am so proud of our young people, our swimmers. Grand Bahama, of course, had 8 participants for the 2026 Goodwill Games, and we brought it home again for the 4th time.
And trailing on the fast break, Franco Miller Jr. He caught up with the G League Warriors standout guard on how he felt about this past season, where he put up a respectable 9 points, 3 assists, and 3 rebounds, while shooting 35% from the field and 29% from 3.
It was a blessing, definitely. Just being able to compete with some of the best players in the world. The G League is arguably the second best, league in the world. So that was just a blessing and proving to myself, that I could do anything and do all those kind of things.
Miller adds he is still fully committed to play for the Bahamas in the FIBA World Cup qualifiers, which continue on the 28th of August, and is hopeful Team Bahamas can pick up the pace during the next 2-game stretch.
Just staying ready, staying in touch, and just going over the last 2 games that we played, trying to learn from our mistakes there, and just capitalize on the things that we need to capitalize on, and focus and sharpen up on the things that we need to be able to come on and try to get 2 wins in the next window.
And with that, your evening sports final whistle blows. But your local forecast is next. I'm Matthew Martinborough, and I will see you on the sideline.
Tonight's weather forecast is brought to you by Royal Star Assurance.
'Cause it's so beautiful.
The vibes never stop at Vibes Lounge, East Sunrise Highway. Join the party every night with a different theme, live DJs, and non-stop entertainment until 2 a.m. Call or WhatsApp 688-8423.
Save more drugs, from cosmetics to prosthetics. What you need for your family, the brands you're looking for, the quality you expect, vitamins you need, and prescriptions you gain. Feel the love. Save more at Save More Drugs.
Have the following supplies on hand at the start of the hurricane season: A minimum 3-day supply of water, which provides 1 gallon of water per person per day. Minimum 3-day supply of non-perishable food items. Flashlights and extra batteries. A battery-powered radio to receive broadcasts that will keep you informed of the storm. A first aid kit. A 7-day supply of any prescribed medication. Don't be caught off guard this hurricane season. Be prepared.
Use a bin to put it in.
Let's keep it clean.
Yeah. Put it in the trash, my guy. Not on the ground, not on the beach, not in the bush, not in the street. No, yeah. Just put it in the trash, my guy. Not on the ground, not on the beach, not in the bush, not on the streets. Just put it in the trash, my guy.
Bombastic side eye. Criminal offensive side eye.
Put it in the trash. Put it in the trash. That's it, that's it. Put it in the trash. Just put it in the trash. Put it in the trash. That's it. Just put it in the trash, my guy. Not on the ground, not on the beach, not in the bush, not in the street. Just put it in the trash, my guy. Yeah. Just put it in the trash, my guy.
Yeah. We just gotta keep Grand Bahama clean.
We've got a time again. Yes, I'm grabbing up on my friends. I could be the first one down. Oh, yeah. Everything getting cold. Yes, I drop my car on the boat. Then jump on Bahamas. I got my money. Oh, I got my.
Join us on the ZNS network for Cat Island Regatta Time. Thursday, August 20th at 8 p.m.
I ain't missing one spot this year.
Your number one team in the north. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better.
And that concludes the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. I'm Raven Davis.
And I'm Matthew Martinborough.
Thank you so much for tuning in. Here's a live look at the Bahamas Tonight. They're coming your way next.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Doctors Hospital Health System.
I'm Corvell Pyfrom. Ahead from us this Wednesday evening, down to the wire. With time quickly winding down before the return to school, education officials today were on the ground visiting various campuses, ensuring they are ready for when the bell rings in less than 2 weeks. A progress report here tonight. Still on education, filling the gap. Still short of the target, officials confirming that 100 new teachers have been hired. And so, what's next? And the latest on efforts to reverse that U.S. tariff on some exports. The Bahamas Tonight, the national report, starts now. Good evening and welcome. We start the broadcast tonight with the push to get the nation's schools ready for the new academic year, now in its final stretch, with government officials today taking stock of the work on the ground. Our Leah Cooper takes us inside efforts to get classrooms ready for students and teachers.
With just 1 week to go before public schools across the country start a new academic year, the Minister of Education, Science and Technology, the Honorable Chester Cooper, confirms 85% of school repairs are now complete.
Overall budget is in the region of $20 million for school repairs. We develop scopes at the beginning of the year. The principals make a list of all of the things they wish to be done. That goes onward to our maintenance team, who refine those scopes, and then we send them out to contractors.
Here in the capital, 49 schools are undergoing repairs, but Minister Cooper assures the government is also trying to change the way those repairs are handled, with maintenance planned throughout the school year, rather than waiting until the 11th hour before classes resume. And the work, he says, is largely routine.
These are generally minor repairs, tiling, cabinet work, painting, maybe a leak here and there in the roof, some ceiling repairs, air conditioning in some schools with plexiglass to make the classrooms a little bit more comfortable. But generally what we are seeing here are not heavy capital works.
Prime Minister the Honorable Philip Davis joined the tour Wednesday, getting a first-hand look at the progress for himself.
I'm also delighted to know that works are as far advanced as they are, and that all works for what I call school repairs will be completed in time to ensure that our students have a comfortable place to learn and teachers have a comfortable place from which to teach.
The government is confident contractors can deliver on completing these school repairs in adequate time. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Leah Cooper.
Leah, more than 100 new Bahamian teachers have been hired after government launched its aggressive push to address that more than 300 teachers shortfall in the public school system. The Ministry of Education's plan to hire Ghanaian teachers, as much as 300, according to that country's foreign minister, sparked an uproar, with educational officials denying it was ever the intent to hire that sum, stressing the intent to recruit more Bahamians, recruit from Ghana, as well as other countries. Minister of Education, Science and Technology, Deputy Prime Minister, the Honorable Chester Cooper, giving an update on the recruitment process so far.
This is a lengthy process of vetting through Interpol and the Royal Bahamas Police Force. So I don't have a specific number yet on the foreign teachers, but I know that we have a significant batch going on to the Public Service Ministry today, and we sent some last week as well. But over the course of the term, we hope that we will be able to bridge fully the shortfall. In the meantime, our director and executive team are putting in place strategies to ensure that every child get the attention that they deserve as best as we can possibly deliver.
Still on the education front tonight, as a possible storm is brewing, the negotiation team has run its course, and the Bahamas Union of Teachers president says it is time for the Minister of Finance to come on board to move stalled negotiations forward. This, as the union has already put its members on alert for possible industrial action that the union president says can come in many forms. Cleopatra Murphy reports.
Bahamas Union of Teachers President Belinda Wilson is throwing down the gauntlet after hitting an impasse with government negotiators over the union's industrial agreement at the last meeting Thursday. With government's failure to present a new salary proposal a key factor for the stalled progress, the union president is adamant she will not just accept what is being offered simply because the Bahamas Educators Counselors and Allied Workers Union has signed an agreement. Wilson suggests that union could be indebted to government for allegedly giving the body registration against the law.
I'm not indebted to any government, any politician, any minister of labor. We have that matter that's a live matter in the Supreme Court. The Bahamas Union of Teachers is 79 years old and we bend to no man. We have a registration. We have our good standing certificate, and we are going to negotiate the package that our members have voted for us to negotiate.
Wilson says government must decide its next course of action, stressing the BUT's membership is 3 times that of BECAWU's. She feels government is not negotiating in good faith, suggesting they shift tactics.
They are presenting a letter to us that is addressed to Bernard Evans, the chief consultant, signed by Financial Secretary Simon Wilson, and saying, this is what the government's offered and that's it. That's not negotiation. They have not presented any rationale.
The BUT president says the union has proposed a 20% salary increase for teachers over 3 years, a sum she sees as reasonable. As for her next move,
I'm going to prepare, actually today, a document, and I'm going to write it as succinctly and as clearly as I can for the government to understand what it is that we are proposing.
Asked by ZNS News about the stalled negotiations on Monday, Deputy Prime Minister, Minister of Education, Science and Technology, the Honorable Chester Cooper, declared negotiations are not effectively conducted in the media.
I want to be respectful to the people who are leading these negotiations on both sides. Ultimately, I am confident that we want the same thing.
For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Cleopatra Murphy.
Earlier this week, during his nationally televised address, Prime Minister Davis gave an assessment of the current state of Bahamas Power and Light, and he also detailed plans already in motion to bring the utility service and equipment into the modern era. Much of BPL's equipment, Mr. Davis says, is archaic, its challenges complex, and its turnaround long overdue. As he told the nation, the buck stops with him, and there will be no managing this crisis. Instead, he's determined, he says, to fix it.
The system he inherited was not designed for the country we have become. Some of the equipment and cables were installed and laid down pre-independence, and a lot of it is more than a generation old. Every government sense has added to it.
The Prime Minister also outlining steps in BPL's energy reform.
BPL will continue restoring dependable generation while moving from rented temporary units to permanent efficient capacity. Critical overhauls must be completed. Maintenance must be planned from reliable asset data. BPL must integrate and expand battery storage systems, and rental generation must be phased out only when replacement capacity is tested and ready. BGC must complete and test the foundational grid work. The new substations must be commissioned. The transmission loop, switching capacity, protection systems, and control technology must be completed. Weak feeders must be rebuilt, and grid readiness work must keep pace with new solar and generation projects.
Well, Opposition Leader Michael Pintard responding to the Prime Minister's national address, the state of the country's energy sector. In his speech, Prime Minister Davis reiterated that BPL has been in a crisis state for years. He said temporary patching measures are no longer working, which he attributed to the continued power outages being experienced all across the country. The Prime Minister also, during that address, highlighted measures underway to modernize the energy sector, and he called on the public to trust his energy reform plan. Well, in response, Mr. Pintard is accusing the Prime Minister of shifting blame for the crisis at BPL, adding that the government has responsibility for the management of that utility company.
The Prime Minister came before the nation and told us, once again, that the buck stops with him. But after 5 years as Prime Minister, and more than 10 years, in total, close to 14 years, where he has had some direct responsibility for BPL, either as Prime Minister or Deputy Prime Minister, if the buck truly stops with him, so does the responsibility for the mess that BPL is in.
The opposition leader is also claiming that the dispute about excessive overtime at BPL is just a distraction.
When you're out of ideas, you grab at anything to keep the attention off those things that matter most to the people. Jobs, better wages, consistent energy, improvement in cost of living. These are things that people want. The Prime Minister told us that the buck stops with him. If that statement is to mean anything, then accountability cannot stop with a speech. Accountability requires consequences. Accountability requires truthfulness. It requires leadership.
Tonight, tensions are rising at Bahamas Power and Light following the 5-day suspension with pay of Bahamas Electrical Workers Union Senior Shop Steward Wellington Porter. Porter was suspended Tuesday as BPL investigates allegations of gross misconduct. While acknowledging the suspension is permitted under its industrial agreement, the union says it is concerned about the timing and circumstances. The BEWU claims the development could distract from a report filed by Union President Kyle Wilson involving an alleged attempted bribe connected to his duties at BPL and with the union. The BEWU is calling for both matters to be investigated fairly and independently, insisting union officers and members must be able to participate without fear of retaliation. The union says it will respect the investigative process, but will not be intimidated. Well, there's still much more to get to this Wednesday evening. When we come back, the Progressive Liberal Party celebrating a milestone today. We have that and more. You are watching The Bahamas Tonight. Stay with us.
There are some things that are undeniably Bahamian. A good count salad, junkanoo, the way we worship, the way we take care of one another, all undeniably Bahamian. And right in the midst of our iconic things, places, and people is Commonwealth Bank. Increasing access, sponsoring dreams, working alongside Bahamians to increase the quality of their lives for more than 60 years. Commonwealth Bank, nothing more than being Bahamian. Commonwealth Bank, leader in personal banking services.
Hello, I'm Dr. Ron Elias, interventional cardiologist at Doctors Hospital Health System. A cardiac catheterization laboratory, or cath lab, is a specialized procedure room where cardiologists diagnose and treat many heart conditions using minimally invasive techniques. A thin, flexible tube called a catheter is inserted through an artery, usually in the wrist or the groin, and carefully guided to the heart using advanced X-ray imaging. This allows us to see how well blood is flowing through the coronary arteries and whether there are any blockages. Why does this matter? Your heart muscle depends on a consistent supply of oxygen-rich blood. Where one or more coronary arteries become narrowed or blocked, the heart cannot receive enough oxygen. This can cause chest pain, damage the heart muscle, or lead to heart attack and death. If left untreated, these blockages can result in permanent heart damage, heart failure, dangerous heart rhythm problems, or even sudden death. For some, having a heart attack every minute counts. The faster a blocked artery is open, the more heart muscle can be saved, improving recovery and reducing the risk of long-term complications. One of the greatest advantages of a cath lab is that it allows us to diagnose the problem and, in many cases, treat it during the same procedure. At Doctors Hospital, our goal is to detect heart disease early and provide timely treatment. We have the most advanced equipment in the region. I'm Dr. Ron Elias, and reminding you that when it comes to your heart, early diagnosis and rapid treatment can make all the difference.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Adidas Mall at Marathon. Adidas, you got this.
And as we welcome you back, you're looking there at a shot of the Nassau Cruise Port. If things go as planned, it will soon become the world-famous Nassau Cruise Port. It's centered there at Prince George Wharf along Woods Rogers Walk right here in downtown Nassau. Well, we welcome you back, of course, to the broadcast. The Davis administration is marking 100 days in office following a sweeping victory at the polls in the May 12 general elections. That saw the Progressive Liberal Party secure 33 of 41 seats in a decisive victory over the Free National Movement, that party winning 8. Deputy Prime Minister, Minister of Education, Science and Technology, the Honorable Chester Cooper, reflecting on this milestone.
Let me say that 100 days is a short time. It feels a lot longer than 100, quite frankly. We did hit the ground running. We've had our share of challenges. Each day we go to work one foot before the next, recognizing that the Bahamian people have given us an awesome opportunity. Where there are shortfalls, we seek to bring corrections to them.
Well, today, August 19th, also marks the 34th anniversary of the historic win by the Free National Movement in the 1992 general election. That year, the F&M securing 55% of the vote and winning 33 of the then 49 seats in the House of Assembly. Commemorating the moment, the party on Monday hosted a panel discussion at the University of the Bahamas. It was called Meet the Panelists, where it explored the events leading up to the 92 election and how that moment can be achieved in a new era. Former F&M Member of Parliament for the West, Grand Bahama and Bimini, David Wallace, reflected on the achievements of the former administration.
For me, one of the greatest accomplishments of the Free National Movement was opening the airways. That's right. We gotta accept that, my brothers and sisters. Because of the opening of the airways, that was one of the first pieces of legislation that the Free National Movement took to the House of Assembly after the 1992 Government of the Sunshine. Right. That brought about the Tribune 100 Jam. That was the first radio station. Then Randall Jones, 97, Love 97. Then More FM. And then Charles Carter. And then we put them in Eleuthera and Exuma and Freeport. We don't say the story of what the Bahamas were prior to 1992.
Current F&M Freetown Member of Parliament Lincoln Deal also adding his take on the core base of the party, saying that while the F&M of the past represented a specific kind of Bahamian, today's generation has matured and a new group is looking for a new kind of leadership.
In 1992, just to put it into perspective, the F&M didn't just win an election. They enabled a movement of people who believed in them, that believed that change was possible. The question is not how we recreate 1992, but how we find that same spirit in 2026 and foster that among young people, among our base, and among people nationally. I often hear people talk about the base of the F&M. A new generation has a different perspective because they're not holding on to that. And while it's important that we tell our story so that they can understand where we came from, we also have to cultivate a new vision to show them where we're going.
As Bahamian exporters grapple with the Trump administration's newly implemented 12.5% tariff, Agriculture Minister, the Honorable Jomo Campbell, says the government continues to negotiate with the U.S. to possibly lower that percentage rate. This comes after Bahamas Ambassador to the U.S., Wendell Jones, wrote a letter last month asking U.S. trade representatives to specifically lower the tax for Bahamian exports of spiny lobster and stone crab fisheries.
There's been a lot of back and forth. There were over 2,100 meetings being held with over 60 countries involved. The Bahamas isn't affected by this alone, and I am able to say that Minister for Trade and Investment, Minister Fitzgerald, as well as Minister for Foreign Affairs, Minister Mitchell, and I'm also told that even as senior as the Prime Minister himself has had meetings with the American ambassador in that very same regard.
While all this is taking place, Minister Campbell adds that the ministry is meeting with the fishing community consistently.
And in the very near future, hopefully, as the schedule of the ambassador permits, we will also be seeking to have a meeting with him and show on the truth is that our projected platform as to the way forward to get us back, hopefully not just to the 10% that we were prior to the 24th of July, but perhaps even lower.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Folk Call Smart Pass, the smart way to pay at the pump.
Marco's Pizza. Marco's Pizza. Some never tasted so good. Marco's Summer Party is bringing the fun. Choose 2 large one-topping pizzas with a 2-liter soda for just $34.95. Or grab a big square deal, 1 medium, 1-topping pizzas with boneless wings for just $39.95. Enter to win weekly Baja Bay water passes and your very own Marco's Summer Party pack all summer long. Marco's Pizza. Summer never tasted so good.
From your first heartbeat.
Thank you, and the little guy's all set.
We've been here for you, by your side.
She's good.
Through every challenge, every milestone.
6 miles, hold it.
The house will be yours someday.
Every triumph. Maybe hers. Covering Protecting. Securing. The insurance covered everything? Here since 1899. Always here. Kalina. Caring for you.
I am a master plumber by profession. I've been doing plumbing for over 40 odd years. When I was 9 months old, I was diagnosed with polio. To me, living with polio, I took it the way it is. I never allowed my polio to get in my way of anything. In fact, I love when people doubt me, and I just prove them wrong. And let me tell you, in the world, you could only find a plumber as good as me, but you ain't gonna find no plumber better than me. People with disability, they just need a chance. In this program, I feel so encouraged. Most of the mentors have different kind of disability, but disabilities like me. Sharing and caring and showing so much support with people with disability. They would encourage you to go beyond. I wish this was around a long time ago. Right now, I would have been a millionaire. You out there who have a disability, don't be afraid. Take the step. If you believe it, you could achieve it. And remember one thing, ain't no one better than me, and ain't no one better than y'all. God made all us equal.
For more information about how the SBDC can help your small business to make a big impact, give us a call at 461-7232 or visit sbdcbahamas.com.
Here's how it works. Download the app on the App Store or get it on Google Play and create your profile with payment details. Visit your nearest Shell station. Open the app, scan the pump's QR code. Select your payment amount and begin fueling. Say goodbye to cash and cards because the Focal Smart Pass offers secure and convenient payment options right at your fingertips. Download Focal Smart Pass now and fuel up faster today.
We are just a few moments away from the program, The Bahamas Tonight. Access now, and as always, stepping in to join us with a preview of what's ahead, Marlena and Royston. So listen, a lot of our coverage today and going forward will be about back to school. And I got to tell you, this will probably make me not so popular with the younger crowd. I'm kind of happy to see summer come to an end, guys. I don't know about you two.
You're sad to see it come to?
No, I'm happy to. I'm fine with it going.
For what reason?
The heat.
You know, the heat doesn't go away when school comes back in.
Right.
What does come back is the traffic.
That's what I'm talking about. I've been very happy with
it is an indication, though, that the heat is going to go away. That's what it means
today.
Okay,
that's what it means to me. Yeah.
Okay, I see where you. I'll let you have that one.
I'm going to pick at that later. I feel it's a little bit deeper than he's leading on. Anyway, coming up at Access Now tonight, there is a luxury development over in Exuma that we haven't heard much about until recently. Progress is coming along. We find out more details on it tonight.
Yes, and of course, speaking of back to school, thinking of motherhood, parenthood, we're going to be hearing all about Motherhood Unscripted. So a little bit about the tough times that, of course, can happen with parenting as well, and creating a safe space for women to talk about it. We've got that coming up tonight, too, yeah.
Absolutely.
And I'm taking it that both of you are summer people, so it makes sense.
No, I hate the heat, but I also hate the traffic, so...
Well, the traffic doesn't go away either. I mean, that is always with us as well.
I think I'd be a seasonal person, but we only have 2 seasons here anyway.
Well, that is true. Hot and hotter. Hot and hotter. Right. All right, Marlena and Royston, we will see you in just a few minutes for Access Now. Stay here at 7. Our final words right after the break.
1, 2, 3, what you gonna choose? Strawberry swirl, caramel too. Cookie dough bite, brownies protein. Oreo crunch, make the whole team scream. Gotta be frosty, gotta be Wendy's. Gotta be frosty, gotta be Wendy's. Swirl it, twist it, taste that wave. Gotta be frosty, gotta be Wendy's. Cinnamon toast on a cool vanilla. Chocolate base and the flavor gets bigger. Sweet on sweet, yeah, that's the fun. Better get one, better run, run, run. Gotta be frosty, gotta be Wendy's.
This hurricane season, don't wait until a storm is on the way. The time to protect your most valuable assets is today.
Talk to us before it's too late. Don't wait till devastation is at your door. We can help you protect your home from all kinds of perils, including hurricanes.
In the event a storm is traveling, new policies cannot be issued until after the storm has passed. We're here to help you weather the storm with peace of mind.
Is taking a quick break, but don't worry, we'll be back Monday, August 24th, just in time for back to school. Fresh stories, big trends, more fun. What's trending back at 6 p.m. only on the ZNS network.
That takes care of the national report for this Wednesday evening. Hope to see you again at 11. Stay tuned now. Access Now is up next. I'm Corvell Pye from Have yourselves a good evening.
following a major broadcast showcasing the islands of the Bahamas. Manager of Global Communications for the Ministry of Tourism, Rizé Demerit, as well as freelance travel journalist Terry Ward, highlighted how this newest initiative will benefit our 16-island destination.
So today we had a satellite media broadcast, and what that is that we have live remotes that are happening within the destination. And it's really important because it allows us to reach right now about 6 million people in one day, which is absolutely significant. And we're pushing the messaging that the Bahamas is easy to access. There's a lot of culture here. There are a lot of things to do, and we want you to come down. And having Terry Ward come down, who is an award-winning journalist with travel and leisure afar, Condé Nast, was a perfect fit.
I think right now travelers are really looking for experiences in a place going beyond the beach. Of course, the Bahamas is known for incredible beaches all around the world, but visiting this time in Nassau, I got to do so many cool new things that I hadn't done before. And I think it's what travelers are looking for, to connect with the locals. I got to meet Arlene Nash at the Educulture Museum. She let me beat the goatskin drum, ring the cowbells, and learn all about Junkanoo. That was super cool because I've never been able to make it here for Junkanoo, having the holidays at home. Also, I got to cook with Chef Tevin at the kitchen at Baha Mar. Super cool experience. We made stuffed snapper, guava duff, tried really local things beyond conch salad, which I always love a good conch salad. I got to get behind the stand at Arawak Key and try that too. And getting to shoot the cannon at Port Charlotte was incredible too. So I think that's what travelers are really looking for. We hear about it a lot in the business, and it's all about experiences, but I'm seeing it just from, anecdotally talking to people. They want to do something more. They want to connect with the place, and the Bahamas has so much to offer culturally.
For more tourism updates, visit Tourism Today or Bahamas.com. I'm Michael Miller, and this is Tourism Today.
Tonight, Access Now starts now.
Good evening, you're watching Access Now. I'm Royston Jones.
And I'm Marlena Leonard with a look at what's on the lighter side of news tonight.
Absolutely. Of course, there were some pockets, or must have been some showers around today, because I saw some spots of flooding, at least in the areas I went to.
Okay.
So I'm not sure what's happening with that. I'm no expert, of course, but we do have a resident expert on all things weather, our very own Chief Meteorologist, Basil Dean, to fill us in. Good evening to you, Basil.
Good evening, Royston and Melina. It's time now for your Access Weather Forecast, and we get you started with a look at our live weather radar. And we see quite a bit of thunderstorms taking place over north and central Andros, and then we'll also have some just to the east of the central Bahamas that's associated with a weak trough that is drifting out towards the west. Our satellite pictures in the tropics, we have a tropical wave near Puerto Rico, and that is moving towards the west. We'll be closing in on Hispaniola later on tonight, and by tomorrow, that will be spreading into the southeast Bahamas, so we'll see an uptick in showers and thunderstorms over the southeast Bahamas tomorrow. And our boating forecast tonight through tomorrow, and this is for the northwestern islands, the winds are going to be out of the south at 10 to 15 knots. The wave heights 2 to 4 feet, with your low tide taking place at 8:11, and low tide again at 8:07 tomorrow morning. Now for the central and southeastern islands right through tomorrow, those winds are going to fall off light and variable with flat sea conditions in the southeast Bahamas. The winds easterly at 10 to 15 knots, and the wave heights 2 to 4 feet. That's going to do it for your boating forecast. It's time now for your international temperatures, and they're brought to you by Royal Star Assurance.
I knew you was the one, I knew I had to take you. Me to Illusion, me to Inagua, me to Long Island, and Grand Bahama, and Walker's Key. So come go with me, to pay money. Sing it, y'all, come on. Yeah, everybody.
And that's going to do it for your international temperatures, brought to you by Royal Star Assurance. But join me at 11 o'clock for a full weather update.
Thanks so much, Battles. You got to let the song on the international weather play a little bit longer, because we were chiming in on that.
Oh, yeah.
Now, of course, the floods today, which just minor. I mean, the areas that I went to, Market Street, East Street, were like pockets of it.
Oh.
And every time I see those pockets, it reminds me of that video we played of your friend in her BMW who went down with the car.
That water was up to her window, and she was just sitting outside the passenger window, waving for her rescue.
Nonchalant. Has she transitioned to
stay positive.
a new vehicle as yet?
The vehicle survived.
It survived.
Yes.
I did not know that. That's a great update.
Yes. Little Blue is alive and well.
I'm so glad to hear that. And speaking of transition, Sandals Resort's transition in Exuma is said to be progressing well. Here are the latest update from the Member of Parliament for that island.
And a special guava tree planting took place today, honoring a longtime resident of the capital.
And months before the official Junkanoo season starts, the Genesis Warhawks receive a financial boost.
Then in sports, a huge welcome home for the Bahamas Goodwill Games team.
And mothers here in the capital can take advantage of a special space this weekend. Our live guest tonight has all the details you don't want to miss.
You're watching the Bahamas Tonight Access now. Stay with us.
The only thing hotter than the weather these days are the red-hot, sizzling specials you only find at Super Value and Quality supermarkets. President Whole Milk, 1 liter, $1.89. Captain Crunch cereals, assorted 10 to 12 ounces, $4.39. Fresh limes, 3 for $1.19. Sweet whole watermelons, $7.99 each. Boneless strip steaks, $7.99 per pound. Not at this one or that one. You find real savings at every Super Value and Quality supermarkets.
Throughout our lifetime, we must all make decisions. No matter how we choose, the right one just needs to be made. Like having J.S. Johnson Insurance Agents and Brokers as your insurance partner. We've been serving the Bahamas for over 100 years. Whether you need home, motor, marine, or commercial insurance, make the right decision. Call 397-2100 or visit jsjohnson.com.
JS Johnson Insurance, peace of mind.
Welcome back. Motherhood can be rewarding, exhausting, joyful, overwhelming, and sometimes all of those things before breakfast. But behind the photographs and milestones are experiences mothers don't always feel comfortable talking about.
That's so true. And that's the idea behind Motherhood Unscripted, an event creating a space for mothers to drop the expectation of having everything figured out and to simply have honest conversations about the realities of raising children.
And joining us tonight to tell us more about the event is the founder and host, Waynisha Saunders. Waynisha, welcome to Access Now.
Thank you for having me.
It's so good to have you.
Yes.
Please, tell us about this event, Motherhood Unscripted. What is it all about, and what does it mean specifically to you?
Well, for me, so for one, I'm 2 months postpartum. I had a beautiful baby girl in June. And during my pregnancy...
Yes, congratulations.
Thank you so much. Her name is Journey.
Oh,
beautiful. But during my pregnancy, coming on to the last trimester, I just was longing for like a place or a community to speak with other women that was going through what I was going through. I had a quite healthy pregnancy, but just going through those motions and those bodily changes, and the list goes on. Like I just, even though I had like my mom and family, I just felt like no one could have related to what I was going through. So that's kind of why I came up with Motherhood Unscripted.
Wow.
So
great story.
Why do you think mothers sometimes find it difficult to express some of the difficulties that they're going through, or some of the struggles, or some of the questions?
Well, I definitely think it's a stigma globally around the world, not just for mothers, but for women on the whole, just to have to always be strong or appear to be strong. And I feel like mothers, we carry the household, we carry kids, we have to show up on the workforce, and we have to always give a 10 out of 10, I'll say, performance. And that's why I named the event Motherhood Unscripted, because when you walk in the room, you know, we drop the script, we drop the act, and we be completely transparent. We love being a woman. We love motherhood. We love our kids, but it's not always easy. So I have some seasoned moms between 40 and 50. I have some expecting moms, and I also have some new moms whose babies are under 12 months. So it's going to be a wide variety of mothers in the room to share their different experiences and advice.
This is certainly a safe space, and as you said, you're putting together a variety of mothers at different levels.
Yes.
At different stages.
Yes.
So expecting mothers, new mothers,
and
of course,
seasoned moms.
And seasoned mothers. What can they expect to exchange during these sort of intimate settings?
So I do have some amazing speakers. I have an OBGYN, Dr. Andrea Griffith-Bowe. I have a former senator, Senator Maxine, and I also have a therapist, author, and speaker. Her name is Philippa Dean, and all of these speakers are moms in different aspects of their lives. I mean, just being girl bosses. So I think it's going to be a great experience for all of us to be in the room, hear from them, and how they have handled motherhood.
Powerful. Now, I hear there's going to be a lot of discussions and storytelling. Will there also be resources available there? And is it just going to stop after the weekend, or is this maybe something that might develop into more of a long-form community?
It's definitely a community launch. There's so much things that I want to do moving forward. I want to do a Mommy and Me matcha and Pilates class, and so much more. I want to do some community service as well, where us as moms give back, and the list goes on. So it's definitely not going to end there. And yes, we will have some resources, which is why I have those 3 women in the different aspects of their lives and in the workforce. And then moving forth, I want to do some things for some less fortunate moms as well. So it definitely won't end with Saturday. It's definitely a launch for something much greater.
Great work.
Can you, absolutely, can you give us the details of when and where, and of course, if anyone wants to get in touch with you for more information, how they can do so as well?
Yes, for sure. So my telephone contact is 821-7027. My name is Waynisha Saunders Taylor once again. And then just on my Facebook page, Waynisha Saunders Taylor, you'll find the link to register. And you also can just pay in person. It is a registration fee of $35. It will be light bites. You will have a curated gift bag, and just an amazing experience.
All right, well, Waynisha, thank you so much for joining us tonight. And of course, thank you for creating this event and helping create more communities for moms like you.
And thank you so much for having me as well.
So good to have you. Wishing you all the best, of course.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, stay with us. You're watching Access Now, and it's time now for Water on Tap.
Every drop of water that reaches Bahamian homes and businesses has a story behind it. And at the Water and Sewage Corporation, ensuring that story ends with safe quality water is the job of the Water Quality Unit. Supervisor Olson Smith would tell you that water testing is done daily throughout the Bahamas to meet World Health Organization standards.
We would look at what we call our physical, we look at our chemical, and we look at our microbiological aspects of the water. Now, physical aspects are relatively simple. It's how the water looks, how it smells, how it tastes. Or basically, you can use your 5 senses, but instead of using your senses, we have analytical equipment to actually do that. Our chemical aspect of it, we see exactly what's in the water. So whatever salts that may be present and which levels they are present.
According to Smith, the lab analyzes a whopping 12,000 tests of water every month. During a natural disaster, even more tests are done in affected areas.
The good thing about testing so often is that we have that baseline. We have an idea of what the water chemistry is generally. So in terms of a hurricane, if you have that inundation of salt water, of course, we expect to see those salinity levels or those conductivity levels increase. And then we'd have to monitor thereafter. And of course, we also have to ensure that the water, upon being placed back in service, is being disinfected correctly.
As water quality and environmental conditions continue to change, officials say the goal is to ensure the corporation evolves with them, fortifying its systems and standards to keep water safe, clean, and reliable for generations to come. I'm Kendia Smith, and that's what's on tap.
Carrie's Fabric and Uniform Store wants to get you ready for back to school.
Don't be no fool, stay in school.
They have ready-made uniforms and uniform fabrics for almost every school in the Bahamas.
At Carrie's, find skirts, blouses, shirts, jumpers, boy shorts and long pants, neckties, socks, and more.
You can even have your uniform skirts custom made.
Check out our selection of embroidered cotton shirts.
That's Carrie's Fabric and Uniform Store on Mackey Street.
Call us at 393-0758 or 817-0758.
Come and visit us at Shop Smart, 'cause everything is here.
Yes, we have it all for you. Toys, clothing, office supplies, appliances, custom cut blinds, bedding, drapes, and rugs. Come and visit us on Mackey Street, 2 blocks down from Wolf Road. Call us at 698-1052.
Shop Smart, and Shop Smart, and Shop Smart. Oh, everything is here.
You know, as we look for more ways to save, thrifting has really become a thing here in New Providence.
Oh, yeah.
And there seems to be more and more options from storefronts and charity-driven organizations to people selling online.
I absolutely agree. And for a lot of people, I don't think it's just about saving money. There's something fun about the hunt itself, especially when you're looking for something like vintage or antique. And the great thing is, in a lot of cases, the money raised is normally for a good cause.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Exactly. And also, Monday was National Thrift Day in the U.S., and I've seen both sides of the experience. You go in, take a peek looking for one thing, you walk out with something else you didn't even know that you wanted. Like, I love my antique books.
Oh, that's a great find. So that's the danger, and I think also the joy of it. I volunteer at the Bahamas Humane Society Thrift, and I found everything from golf clubs there to a few rare finds, including recently a Commodore's record for my record player. So if you've not experienced it, maybe your next shop will be at a thrift. Shall we continue with the night shift?
There you go.
Sandals Emerald Bay's transition to beach resort on the island of Exuma is progressing. It's now in the construction phase, but like other projects, it will take time. That's according to the Member of Parliament for Exuma, Deputy Prime Minister, the Honourable Chester Cooper, who admits it may not be happening at the pace residents would prefer. This comes after Sandals closed its doors on August 15th, 2024 to undergo a $100 million transformation. Government signed an agreement for the redevelopment in November 2025.
I believe it's going to be beautiful when it's done. It's going to attract more heads and beds, as I used to say, in the Ministry of Tourism. But as far as the community is concerned, I'm delighted that we're going to have a family all-inclusive property. Typically, couples came to Sandals, that's 2 per room. Now it's an average of 3.5 persons per room. That's more opportunities in the community, more children. That means more tours, more restaurants, more activity for young people to do, and therefore it's going to be a great outcome.
The Exuma MP confirms he's had conversations with Sandals Global Chairman Adam Stewart, who is committed that the transformation take place as soon as possible.
Construction is underway. As you would imagine, there's some reconfiguration of the interiors of rooms to make them adaptable for families. That work you won't see driving by, but I'm satisfied that it's happening, and I hope that it won't be too much longer. We'll see the reopening.
Well, what began as the planting of a single tree in Blue Hill Heights quickly grew into something far more meaningful. A tribute to one man, decades of community service, and a journey organizers hope will continue to take root. Amaya Moss has the story.
In the Blue Hill Heights community in Pride Estates Park, one tree now carries more than leaves and branches. It carries a legacy. The National Public Parks and Beaches Authority hosted a special tree planting ceremony in honor of longtime resident Eugene Sparky Fountain, whose roots community stretched back than 30 years. Planted in the heart of the neighborhood he calls home, the tree stands as a living tribute, recognizing a man who has watched Blue Hill Heights evolve throughout the years. Executive Chairman of the authority, Jamal Strawn, says the gesture emphasizes the importance of the need to strengthen neighborhood pride and salute the hands that help shape the community's past, present, and future.
The planting of this guava tree may seem like a modest gesture, but I believe the meaning behind it is much, much more. Our park is a part of life of a community. It is where our children run and our children play. It is where families gather, it is where friendships are formed, and where ordinary moments become cherished memories.
For 75-year-old Eugene Fountain, the moment carried a message beyond recognition. He used the occasion to call for greater unity among residents, underscoring the message that we are at most unbreakable when we choose to stand as one.
Let's beautify this Commonwealth of the Bahama Islands. Stop worrying about BBL and importing food and everything. Let's grow our food. Right here, we could do it, everybody. God bless Pride Estate. God bless the Commonwealth of the Bahama Islands. Thank you.
And as that single tree begins to take root in the Blue Hill Heights community, it represents more than a symbol of growth. Officials say it is a living marker of gratitude, community spirit, and capturing a legacy spanning more than 3 decades in the making. For the Bahamas Tonight, Access Now, I'm Amaya Moss.
Such a great story. Thank you so much, Amaya. Meanwhile, the Genesis Warhawks Junkanoo Group getting a financial boost for the upcoming Junkanoo season. The group received a $10,000 donation from businessman and community leader Andrew Blue Johnson at its Shirley Street headquarters this week. The goal is to ensure its youngest members have every opportunity to keep the rhythm alive.
Genesis is the Junkanoo group that I see is catering to a lot of the young people, the youth, and the young adults in this country, and in particular this community of Freetown. So I'm all on board with Genesis. I love everything about them, and I hope this be a very long partnership and a successful one in future years to come.
Genesis Warhawks chairman Theo Cooper underscored the power of partnerships and togetherness, especially when it comes to the nation's future agents of change.
Not just about giving the monies, but it's also about working the ground, getting to know who these people are, what their needs are, and how you can help them better. It's easy to give a check, but it's more impactful when we can actually see what's happening in these communities. You know, a lot of these kids in our group are going to school, they don't have shoes. We have to do various things in our back to school giveaways just to ensure that these kids have what they need to go to school and be successful.
Well, stay with us. You're watching Access Now.
It's scorching, piping hot. I mean, just blazing. No, I'm not talking about the weather. I'm talking about the specials at Super Value and Quality Supermarkets. Devon corned beef, 12 ounces, $2.49. Hunt's ketchup, 32 ounces, $3.49. Whole chicken wings, $1.79 per pound. Boneless pork chop or roast, $2.99 per pound. Sweet jumbo black plums, $2.39 per pound. Not at this one or that one. You'll find real savings at every Super Value and Quality Supermarkets.
Is taking a quick break, but don't worry, we'll be back Monday, August 24th, just in time for back to school. Fresh stories, big trends, more fun. What's trending back at 6 p.m. only on the ZNS network.
Always see man, the one and only, and I want y'all to tune into Entertainment Fridays on Access Now every Friday at 7:30 p.m. Who knows? Your favorite Bahamian artist might end up showing their face. But you gotta watch to find out.
You're looking at Bahamar's Royal Blue Golf Course. The 18-hole par 72 championship course was designed by international golf icon Jack Nicklaus. That shot courtesy of our drone pilot Isaac Roberts. And your Access Now sports report is next.
Welcome to your midweek sports check, everyone. I'm Amajal Knowles, topping sports. It was a celebratory welcome home for Bahamas Aquatics after the team returned to the capital on Wednesday evening after securing their 4th consecutive Goodwill Games swim title. Family and friends greeting them with a champion's welcome over at the Betty Kelly Kenning Aquatic Center. Now, Swanson Gibson Jr. was there and filed this report.
Dozens of supporters occupied the parking lot of the Betty Kelly Kenning Aquatic Center as Bahamas Aquatics returned home with over 100 medals at the 30th Goodwill Games. Also in attendance was the Prime Minister of the Bahamas, Honorable Philip Davis, and the Minister of Youth and Sports, the Honorable Mario Boleg, celebrating the young athletes.
Pringles, Helsinki Mitchell, and the Karen Cooper. I understand they took the 13 and 14 50 backstroke on the same afternoon. Girls and boys in Trinidad's own pool.
To the parents, we appreciate your support and giving the federation, the coaching staff and the clubs, your kids, doing the hours that is necessary to harness their skill set and make them the swimmers they are today, to make sure that they not only represent themselves, but you as parents and also this nation as a country.
8 and under division swimmer Nia Ferguson broke records in the 50-meter freestyle and 100-meter individual medley events. She reflects on her experience.
I felt very happy. I felt very proud because I've never went to Goodwill before, and I was trying to secure a spot in Goodwill, and I was happy that I made it.
Bahamas Aquatics head coach Dwayne Davis Jr. adding his sentiment.
I'm very proud of the team. We met down in Trinidad Tobago. Trinidad was a very, very hostile environment. It was loud. The team stood up strong. They were focused. They were resilient, and they were determined to come back with a 4-beat.
After dominating the Carifta and the Goodwill Games, the Bahamas looks to continue their success throughout the rest of the year. Reporting from the Betty Kelly Kenning Center, I'm Swanson Gibson Jr. Back to you guys in studio.
Thanks, Swanson. In soccer news, the Junkanoo boys back on the pitch for the Caribbean Football Union's Challenge Series over in the Dominican Republic, hoping to remain unblemished in the tournament. They would face off against Guyana this morning. The two teams would be locked in at 0 goals apiece for most of this one until the 65th minute. The Guyanese striker, showing off his powerful left foot, as this one would just scrape past the crossbar to give Guyana the 1-0 lead. Junkanoo boys hoping to find the equalizer, but they would be unsuccessful. After full time, Guyana walking away from this match with the 1-0 win. Next up for Team Bahamas, a rest day on Thursday before semi-final action kicks off on Friday. And it's Wednesday, which means a new Women in Sports feature, and this time our Michelle Butler catching up with a young boxer who speaks about her love for the sport.
For most 15-year-olds, the daily routine may look very different. But Samantha Arney, part of her day is spent in the boxing gym, working on her skills, building her confidence, and pushing herself to get better.
I feel more brave.
Her love for boxing started with a simple introduction to the sport, but it didn't take long for her to realize that boxing was something she wanted to take seriously.
When I was in grade 6, the principal told us that they was bringing in like new sports, boxing, every after school. So I wanted to join. I really didn't know I was gonna like it that much, but like as I go practice every day, I started to like it. And then we come to the gym, like coaches just pick us up and drop us to the gym, and that's when we start like practicing more.
While boxing can be physically demanding, she says there's something about the sport that keeps her coming back.
I just love boxing.
She spends time working on her speed, movement, technique, and endurance, with each drill designed to help her become a more complete boxer. Consistency is key. She knows that improvement doesn't happen overnight. It comes from showing up, listening to her coaches, learning from every training session, and continuing to work even when things get difficult. At 15 years old, her story is still being written. But one thing is already clear: she's not afraid to put the work in. For Women in Sports Wednesday, I'm Michelle Butler.
Thanks, Michelle, and that's been your midweek sports check, everyone. I'm Amajal Knowles, signing out until tomorrow.
Stories on Michelle. Now, anyone who spent time on the bag knows that it's no easy feat. If you want to get that heart racing like nobody's business, hit that heavy bag 1-2 times.
Yeah.
2 minutes of this.
I've never tried it. We'll have to, maybe
I'm feeling it tonight.
To try that out at some point.
I get on the bag tonight. Just like this. That's going to do it for Access Now for tonight. As always, thank you so much for joining us.
Stay tuned for the rundown with Howard Grant.
One more time.
Good night, everybody. Like, let's go.
There, okay.
Hey, y'all, what's up?
Hey, what's that?
What y'all getting?
Listen, I've been waiting to march down some lobster, yeah?
Hi, I'm Matthew. I will be you guys waiter today. Can I take your order?
Oh, I've been jonesing for some grouper tread.
Y'all see this?
See, this ain't gonna work. Where the fish gone, though?
But how, though?
Don't leave our children with no fish in their future. Protect our sea. Protect our way of life. Protect the Bahamas. To learn how you can help, find us on Facebook at Bahamas Protected. See the future.
idea of taking swimming lessons to the Bahamian public was something that we thought was a great idea, and so we started Let's Swim Bahamas.
I've always been a learn to swim coach and a life-saving coach, and so this is now my turn to kind of really see learn to swim being developed.
Although we ran swift swimming for some 30 years and we offered Let's Swim lessons, we knew we were only touching a small percentage of the Bahamian public.
I enjoy the children and how happy and excited and joyful they are. I mean, some of them come from maybe hard homes. Maybe they're bullied at school. Who knows what they have, but when they come here, it's a very positive thing for them.
At the end of the day, more kids will be fulfilled, more kids will have a life-saving skill, and more kids will stay away from crime.
Crime-free.
Looks like me.
Do your part. Join the movement to a safer Bahamas.
I put my foolish pride aside in acknowledgement of your goodness. Everything is the Lord's in the earth in its fullness.
It's M-A-D-I-O Mario, and I'm inviting you to tune into Entertainment Fridays on the Bahamas Tonight. Access now at 7:30 p.m. You miss it, you diss it.
To fall, but was caught before I fell. Was so hard-headed, too stubborn to ask for help.
That's the Bahamas Tonight. Access now, weekdays, 7:30 p.m. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better.
Bahamas. Hurricane season is here. Are you ready? The 2026 Atlantic hurricane season officially runs from June 1st through November 30th. 6 months of staying alert and prepared. Storms are named to help meteorologists, emergency officials, and the public communicate clearly and quickly during dangerous weather events. Hurricanes are also measured using the Saffir-Simpson Hurricane Wind Scale, which ranks storms from categories 1 through 5 based on wind speed and potential damage. And did you know, when a hurricane becomes especially deadly or destructive, its name is permanently retired out of respect for the lives and communities affected. Now is the time to prepare your emergency kit with a portable AM/FM radio, review your family plans, and stay connected to trusted weather information. Preparation today can save lives tomorrow. These are the names of the storms for the 2026 Atlantic hurricane season. Arthur, Bertha, Cristobal, Dolly, Edward, Faye, Gonzalo, Hannah, Isaias, Josephine, Kyle, Leah, Marco, Nana, Omar, Paulette, Renee, Sally, Teddy, Vicky, and Wilfred. This public service announcement was brought to you by the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas in conjunction with the Disaster Risk Management Authority.
Granted, welcome to the Rundown. It's Wednesday night, and you know what that means? Time for Political Roundtable. It's a discussion that focuses on all things political, and joining me tonight is my resident political analyst, Ian Munnings. My brother, it is always good to have you here with me as we continue to be able to jam and have great conversations about what's happening around the country. This week, we had a great opportunity to be able to hear from our Prime Minister, to be able to talk about a great deal of things, and a pestering issue as it relates to power outages and the way forward from this particular juncture. We would have heard from him on Monday evening. Well, you know that because I wasn't here on Monday evening, but we would have we would have been able to hear from our Prime Minister. Colville Pyfrom has a great package available. We're going to be able to take a quick listen into that and have a great conversation afterwards. Take a listen in.
A crisis is an opportunity to fix what does not work.
The country did not get any specifics nor a clear timeline for when it will be out of the energy woods. It did get, though, an admission from Prime Minister the Honorable Philip Davis in his national address Monday evening that ran just over 20 minutes that this is a crisis with many layers, wide in scale and complex. He asked the public to trust his energy reform plan.
For the first time in our history, this country has a comprehensive nationwide plan to modernize how we generate, store, and distribute electricity across the whole archipelago.
He also asked the nation to understand the road ahead is bumpy.
There will be setbacks. There will be equipment failures. There may be temporary disruption as old infrastructure is removed and new systems are connected.
If the Prime Minister's optimism for the work being done to transform the energy sector was clear, then his ire at what he sees as generations-long mismanagement and abuses at Bahamas Power and Light was palpable. Recent revelations of excess overtime payouts at the utility only adding to the public's already overflowing frustration with PPL as thousands of customers have endured a sweltering summer made even more unbearable due to chronic power outages. The issue of overtime, the Prime Minister says, must be corrected now.
It is not credible that a person works 24 hours straight, 3 days running, and does safe work. It is not fair to the ratepayer who funds every dollar. It is not fair to the honest worker whose profession is tarnished by it. A new overtime policy is in force. Planned overtime is capped. Any technical worker whose overtime exceeds 30% of base salary triggers a review by the division head and the executive management team and is to be reported to the board.
Mr. Davis again told the country, even though they may not be feeling or seeing it just yet, progress on the energy front is already taking shape, insisting he's not here to manage this crisis, but to fix it.
And we're back, ladies and gentlemen, being able to talk about that. The Prime Minister has taken on a very strong position. I would have said in another space, if this was Latin America or any of those particular spaces, he would have been able to deliver with such passion. But this Prime Minister will. Ahora! As I say, this is the first time I would have been able to see the Prime Minister take on this kind of an approach that was a matter-of-fact position, that actually spoke with clarity. What he would have done before is always, on his first term, being able to deliver us with a sort of a palpable relationship as he's trying to build. But this issue is not an issue that, like he says, is not to be managed. This is an issue that needs to be rectified. This is an issue that needs to be able to be identified head on, and he's doing a wonderful job in being able to rectify that or approach it in such a manner with a great deal of seriousness. And so I'm excited about being able to hear that and being able to identify those things. Ian, what do you make of that? What do you make about the 20-minute speech that the Prime Minister gave? I thought it was an amazing thing. When I say amazing, I don't want to be able to make it more than it is, but the truth is that the Prime Minister took on a very stern position in being able to say, hey, listen, this is an issue. He didn't cut any corners. He didn't say, hey, we're going to do our best to do, hey, this is going to be hard. You may have some more blackouts, essentially. You may have some other issues that we're going to be dealing with, but we're going to rectify this issue, not just for now, and we're not trying to manage this issue. We're going forward with being able to fix this.
I could relate to what he's saying to the general public and saying to them that this is an ongoing situation, that previous administration seemed to just say, we're going to patch it, we're going to continue to patch things, right? Here goes the situation now in the 21st century, where scores of Bahamians in the 2026 are in their homes and the lights are off. Here poses some of the problems. You have infants that are in those areas. You have persons that are maybe on a respirator, elderly people, and this is a difficult time because now is the El Nino, whereas the peaks of the heat are even more intensified than we were used to.
So that means you got more row in the house.
You get more everything.
Everything.
You have everything that is going on, and so I believe that we must be able to look at how we're going to mitigate or to fix things right now. Yes, I understand that the long term is to fix and correct it. But here goes the situation that most Bahamians that are faced with. You're in a house and it's extremely hot. You're an elderly person or retiree. It's 9 o'clock in the night, maybe 7 o'clock in the day. What do? Are there any cooling systems, cooling stations? Are we providing any spaces safe places that people can go for an hour or two if we say that the power is going to be off? So all of these are things we have to look down the road and say, hey, yes, it's fine that we're going to fix it, but we also must put things in place to correct until we can fix what we are up against.
I think it was strong. Like I said to you, I thought that the Prime Minister was very passionate about these particular things over his past administration. We would have been able to see him deal with legacy issues that we had in the country, whether that was Grandmama Port Authority, whether that's Grandmama Power, whether that is the union issue that continues to be able to linger. The Prime Minister has taken on these mammoth tasks, and this is no different. The Prime Minister has taken on this task, which is a legacy issue that the proverbial can has been kicked down the road tremendously over the past 30 years, 40 years in this country. And the relationships that continue to be able to feed only one set of people externally in terms of being able to purchase these mammoth machines, I call it Optimus Prime and Decepticons that they slide through Nassau to be able to fuel this country in one way or another. These archaic machines, you can't even find people living to fix that. And the Prime Minister is very clear about these particular things. He said, listen, a lot of these things we met these things here. We're going to try to do our best to be able to fix this. We're going to move forward with being able to rectify this. I got to be able to commend him for taking on this kind of a strong position now to pair that kind of passion and tenacity and determination and essentially taking the bull by the horn. We need to be able to see action on these fronts to be able to make these things happen.
I agree with you 100%. I think that people are, we hear a lot of things. We're optimistic. We hear some things are in the pipeline. We hear some things are going to happen. But the reality of it is that, are they going to happen in this time or in our lifetime? Are we going to see that? Are we going to reap the benefit from what you're saying now? Or is this just something that we're going to try to fix, but there's no real guarantee that it's going to happen?
The former administration, I would have been able to see today in the papers Michael Pintar take on this kind of a position to be able to identify that there is a level of deflection as the Prime Minister, who rightly so, was able to respond to the public outrage associated with the overtime that I think it was 600 and some thousand for about 3 employees that he would have been able to talk about. And him being able to mention that simply because it is an outrage that came from the grassroots, the community. And so the Prime Minister had the responsibility of being able to address that. But Michael Pintar taking on this kind of a position to talk about this sort of an idea associated with this is deflection, what about these issues or that? Hey, listen. Talk to me, Ian. Listen, the Free National Movement.
This isn't just...
We've been having this issue a long time.
But the reality is this didn't just start.
This didn't just start.
The thing about it is that we can point fingers all day. We can say who's to blame, who was there prior, who served. There's a lot of things that we can do. We can point that all day. I don't think that the
30 years.
I don't think the Bahamian people are interested in who you want to blame or call the name blame.
We need it to be fixed.
We want it to be fixed. We want, when we go at home, if we're going to pay these particular things, like the light bill, we're seeing double dip and triple light bills for regular Bahamians. If your light bill was $200, you look and you saw your light bill at $600. You have your light bill normally between $400 and $500. You saw your light bill now at over $1,000. So you're looking at, if a light bill is over $1,000, and it is predominantly the same thing of what person are paying now for mortgages. So my light is competing with my mortgage.
I will say this, though. I just want to be able to be clear as I say this and talk about these things. I feel like the Prime Minister had the responsibility of being able to address the social outrage associated with overtime But if we're going to be very clear about this and identify this, all of those persons who work in corporations, all of those persons who work in organizations, and there's an affiliation with a union and other persons being able to be attached to that or supporting your space, you understand that this idea, this concept, signing off, had to go through a plethora of people. It had to go through so much people to get signed off. That's one. Two, I never scheduled myself to work yet. I don't assign my own salary. I don't do these particular things. I am a laborer in this particular capacity. Like I said, the Prime Minister understands that if it reached that particular capacity, we have the responsibility of responding. And this is an accurate response. But to act like you didn't know as a community, I believe that this was design and deliberate deflection, and we got to deal with this. Not by the Prime Minister, but obviously by a red herring they put in there. We can talk about it a little bit more. Let's take a quick break, guys. Going to be right back after this.
Let's go. At Frame Studio, as soon as you enter the door, we showcase any individual that comes in there and make it feel like they are at home. The space itself is 1,800 square foot. Our psych wall, which is industry standard also, is 24 feet wide. You can do anything that you can possibly think of. At Frame Studio, under our theme, Now Create More, we look at Frame Studio as a canvas. And any artist knows a canvas is blank, and then you create whatever you want to do, right? So we have where you could rent tools. We even have workstations that people could rent out to anyone inspiring to do what I've done, or what my colleagues have done, or any other journey. I would say to you, don't be afraid. The worst someone can actually tell you is no. So if you have a vision, you have an idea, not everyone will get it. But if you believe in your vision, you believe in your idea, I say go wholeheartedly at it.
For more information about the Creative Entrepreneurs Initiative and the Crafting the Bahamas workshops, email info@sbdcbahamas.com or call us at 461-7232.
Is taking a quick break, but don't worry, we'll be back Monday, August 24th, just in time for back to school. Fresh stories, big trends, more fun. What's trending back at 6 p.m. only on the ZNS Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is The Rundown. I'm Howard Grant. Great Wednesday evening political roundtable. My resident political analyst, none other than Ian Munning, sitting here with me. When we left off, we just wanted to talk about this. I just want to get this. I just want to say this to you for the purposes of clarity, for you to understand me. There was a national issue. Your light keep cutting on, keep going off. You're brown, half the light dim, half your house off, half on. All these things are happening one time. The entire country is enraged with this. This happened over the course of maybe 2 weeks. All of a sudden, information comes to the forefront, strategically and specifically placed at the forefront in the public, to talk to us about $600,000 or some absorbent amount of money that is being paid to technocrats, to the technical team on these particular areas. This happened in December. And it's just strategic, or whatever it happened, it's strategic as being able to find itself out in the public like this. I won't be decent as I say this to you. It is, in my humble opinion, based upon observation, it feels like it was by design. It feels as though this is deflection, even as I sit down in my home, for me to be able to say, oh God, they must be paying people overtime now, that's why the power cut off again. It feels like it is by design for you to be able to take off the body of the men and women on the board of BPL, because this ain't the first time this happened. This ain't the first time that you have deflected in this particular capacity over a different administration. There is relentless deflection in this particular capacity, maybe because this is a mammoth task. We understand that. But to lay it on the shoulders of a technocrat, to lay it on the shoulders of a laborer is bananas to me. The Prime Minister is right in this particular capacity. He's right. He's absolutely correct. There must be a review of these particular things because it's brought to light, because it came to the forefront. There must be a review. I agree with him 100%. But the design, strategic placement right now in the midst of perceived incompetence is questionable. Can I say that?
Yes, you can say that, Howard.
Is it okay?
It's okay that you can say that.
Okay,
I would agree with you with that. There must be a review, right? And someone must be held accountable. Accountability must be put into place.
I agree with you.
Here goes the situation. The lights were flickering on and they were flickering off. There are a lot of Bahamians who work very hard that may not be able to afford their appliances again at this time, competing but paying your regular bills and paying the light bill. Here goes the situation with your fridge, your stove, your TV, all of those particular things. Where do those persons go to get their things sorted out or to be paid for their items that were blown during this particular time? And is it a long red tape and rope that they may have to go through to get their settlement to be done? This is something we need to know. We need to know that these are the taxpayers and the dollars that are being paid as the taxpayers' dollars. So we need to know how our money is being spent.
One thing I got to tell you, I like the Prime Minister without portfolio. I like the Prime Minister being able to deal with these things head on. I like the Prime Minister being able to take on this task as they come and being able to deal with it. I like the Prime Minister in this particular capacity. Like I said to you, I commend the Prime Minister and encourage him to continue to be able to deal with these things. But I must question how this information came to the forefront. We need to know. I'm glad it came. Whoever is the whistleblower in these particular instances, we ain't fighting you. You should have whistleblown when the power was on in December. You should have whistleblown in January when we was cool and you had no problem. You wait till we hot to find out we extra mad. We got to deal with these things. And this level of deflection only leads me to believe that as a result of these particular things, it is by design and to be able to alleviate some of the burden and the stresses associated with being able to manage this position. Because we would have heard this before from another administration that actually was deflecting on a great deal of things to talk about maybe the makeup shouldn't be $700. I can't get no amen, Jesus. I'm just trying to be decent as I have this kind of a conversation for you. Deflection is not a solution. This is not, they don't need for us to be able to avert our eyes. Our power is off. The appliances are destroyed. All these things are happening. And you need to deal with this head on. Not deflect, not by being able to identify someone, to be able to leak information, to put in the public so you can be able to find yourself alleviated. Deal with the thing head on. And I believe that you can do it. I believe that there's a competent body of persons that are in this particular position. I believe that there's a great chance to be able to rectify these issues. And I believe for the very first time in a long time, you have a chance to really be able to rectify this. So I'm not going to join the choir in trying to pull down the minister or try to pull down any of these particular team members. I will continue to encourage you, but I would say to you from the board of BPL, take the thing on head first. Take it on head first and let's deal with it accordingly. This is a legacy issue. This ain't your issue. You just reach, but you're dealing with it the way that it should be done.
I agree with that, Howard.
That makes sense?
You're making a lot of sense there.
I ain't gonna fight you.
You can't fight me on that one. Everybody is looking, they understand that the heat was on and you're feeling the heat, and they understand that they can't go to no beach 10 o'clock in the night.
No, don't say these things.
They can't go to the beach 9 o'clock. I don't know how they make those things up. I mean, I don't know how they make it up.
Don't say these things. I mean, we understand that. As a former minister said also, if the power on, you can't do this, and hurricane, you go warm up a tin tub. Y'all need to stop with these suggestions. It's 2026. We ain't doing none of that. We just pay our bill. We just work hard. We hot.
I look at our counterparts throughout the Caribbean, as you say that. I look at some of our colleagues throughout the Caribbean. And you go into countries like Dominican Republic, Jamaica, Barbados, those other islands, and you're seeing that some of them have wind turbines, some of them have solar systems that are set up. And we're looking at the Bahamas with 400-odd little people. And that's not just in one particular place, it's throughout the family of islands. You know, I think we have to start to consider things that we can use that'll help. And I heard the Prime Minister say they're looking into the solar and bringing in solar on residents and persons to be able to bring it in. I don't know if it's going to be duty-free. I can't speak to that. But what I can say, I believe that that'll be in the right direction if we started to say that Bahamians will be able to bring in these things affordable at no cost or whatever the case may be. That this is how you start to mitigate some of those issues that we have.
I like it, and I got to be able to encourage all those persons in this particular capacity to move forward and make those things happen. I don't want to linger on this because you end up getting cussed one way or another for these things, but you need to be able to be said. We're dealing with a people who continues to be able to gravitate towards whatever sounds right, whatever rhythm that comes over on social media, whatever rhythm that comes to these. People respond to the first thing. If it bleeds, it leads in media, and that's just not what this is. This is an issue. This is a legacy issue. This is an issue that we continue to grapple with. IRCA just would have been able to pay out $600 and something thousand from BPL for some of the issues that existed way back in 2018. This is an issue that we continue to grapple with as a people, one way or another. How do we find a consistent form of electricity in our country? And we're still dealing with that. Our Prime Minister has taken on this kind of a position from a global standpoint all the way back in 2021 to talk to us about this sort of an idea associated with climate change. He understands. Coupling with what's happening right now, El Nino effect is leading to a great deal of things. I believe that this is always on the docket as it relates to what's happening in cabinet. I do believe that. But we cannot deflect about the fact that we need to be consistent and determined to do that. The Prime Minister being able to come to the forefront and have this kind of a transparent conversation to say that we're dealing with this. We're dealing with this crisis. We understand exactly what's what. Hey, listen. Whilst we're dealing with this locally, we have to commend the Prime Minister and BPL for taking on the course of alleviating our brothers and sisters in Grand Bahama most recently, who've seen a reduction in their rate as a result of the purchase of Grand Bahama Power Company. So yeah, it will never be all bad. But when it comes to bad, don't deflect. Talk to me. When it get like this,
I agree with you, Howard.
Don't dismiss and deflect.
I agree with you saying, but we have to also think about what is said that the El Nino next year may be even hotter than this year. So this is something possibly we have to be able to get ahead of now. I'm looking at cooling stations on the parks or something. You need it. You're going to need it. You're going to need it.
Yeah, we're going to look at those particular things. We knew some years ago that increasing, as we look at these things, as we look at the volcanic belt and all the eruptions that is happening and the earthquakes that's happening around and the chain of islands or in this volcanic arch that's happening around the world, and more specifically what we're seeing in the Caribbean and Colombia, in Venezuela and other spaces. We understand that there's some things that are shifting globally. We understand that there's some things that are shifting. And so don't believe that we're here, and whilst we do identify this place as paradise, don't believe that you are void of the tribulation that's going to be coming to the forefront. Whatever that is, we're going to be able to deal with that as a people collectively. But the truth of the matter is that you're not running from this.
It's coming.
It's coming.
It's coming head on. You got to deal with it head on. You have to deal with it head on. There's no other way that we're going to be able to deal with it. It's the matter of planning and executing. That's it. Planning and executing. The people want results, and they don't want to hear this. They want to hear results.
For the first time in decades, this administration, for the first time in decades, this government has an opportunity to really be able to not only make a dent, but to make a difference.
A major difference.
A significant difference, and not just for the retention of and the pomp and pageantry and the celebration to say that my political organization has done this, but to be able to put a staple into the next dispensation, the next era of Bahamian life and lifestyle, to say that we've created the foundational infrastructure that we could be able to enjoy these things come 5 years from now, 10 years from now, by putting in the proper foundation today. And so I got to commend the Prime Minister, got to encourage the Prime Minister, and got to be able to say to those particular persons, if you've been identified to be able to get on the BPL board, if you find yourself in these positions, remember, don't be casual. I don't want to tell you how to do your job, but the Bahamian people are very sensitive. We are
feeling it.
We have
felt it.
We are global in terms of understanding politics and media and so forth and so on. polish yourself when you come to the Bahamian people and give a presentation that's professional for us to be able to accept those things. That's it. That's it. I ain't gonna talk about BPL no more. Praise God. Let's take a quick break, guys. Gonna be right back after this.
The Bahamian spirit doesn't stop at our borders. It travels wherever our people go. Every Wednesday, Bahamian Footprints shines a spotlight on Bahamians who began their journey right here at home and are now making a difference around the world. Their accomplishments are our pride. Their stories are our inspiration. Bahamian Footprints, proudly presented by Coca-Cola, every Wednesday at 6 p.m., only on What's Trending.
Planning the execution of a newscast is serious business. From the assignment to the concept of the story, everything has to be precise, on point, always. The Bahamas Tonight, the National Report, is your trusted news service. We get it right the first time. Our preparation for you each night is done with care, knowing that our voices will reach you on 700 islands and keys with unquestionable accuracy. It gives me great pleasure each night to say,
Welcome to the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. I'm your national anchor, Mukesh Lapinder.
After I was in a plane crash in June 1983, I lost my left arm. I had some good friends, came along, fishing guides. They said, man, we can teach you to fly fish. Exuma, exuma. Can you see? Look at it, man. One of the nicest places you want to be in the world. There were challenges learning to cast, learning to put a fly on a leader, learning to tie the different knots. For me, as a handicapped individual, as a matter of fact, I don't really feel handicapped because I could do everything, man. Anything anybody could do, I think I could do it too. Because with your mindset to do anything, no matter what you are, what you look like, what's happening to you, you can do it. Persons in our positions, it's hard to get fundings and very, very expensive. SBDC would be helpful in regards to help funding people with disabilities. So nothing is impossible if you're disabled, any kind of disability. Put faith in God and trust God. Believe you will overcome.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is The Rundown. I'm Howard Grant. Grateful to be in your company. Always grateful to be here with you, sitting with my resident political analyst and being able to talk about everything national and politics and so forth and so on is none other than Ian Munnings being able to have the good conversation with us, and I'm grateful for that. I got to be able to hit you straight now and shoot straight with you. Most recently, Ian, some stuff has happened and we saw come to the forefront as it relates to education.
Sensitive,
education.
A very sensitive area.
Education.
And a sensitive conversation.
On a sensitive conversation, I want to be able to agree with you in those particular areas. We would have been able to see the introduction sometime back, maybe a month ago, a few weeks ago for sure. Our minister has been able to talk about the conversation as it relates to Ghana and being able to see potentially 300 persons being able to be introduced to this space. Most recently, I think today we could be able to say that I'm looking at something now, don't fight me. Today we could be able to say, based upon some information that comes to the forefront, there has been persons, I think it's about 150 persons that found themselves introduced. There was orientation for about 150 persons today that has been introduced to this space. I'm sorry, 130 new teachers were welcomed into the public education system today during an orientation ceremony at Stephen Dillard Primary School held ahead of the start of the new school year. Director of Education Dominic McCartney Russell says that the orientation is designed to prepare new hires to be for the important responsibility educating and reshaping young minds. That's exciting, man.
It's very exciting.
That's exciting stuff.
So you have a lot of there are some initiatives that were taken in regards to persons that were interested in nursing and interested in teaching, etc. Persons getting into the field, whether it's a passion of it or whether they believe that that is a means to end for them in regards to becoming professional and being able to obtain certain things within their lifetime, in terms like their houses or apartment or whatever it may be. here goes the situation. Teachers are the front line. It's a sensitive issue because here it is that I think teachers per annum, or per year, I think they make about, 37?
I'm not sure about what their
35,
salary
I think
is.
it's between 34, I think the max was like 38,000 a year.
Really?
Yeah, something of that nature.
$38,000?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And these are and they are the persons responsible. And there's a lot of work because here goes parents that are home with one child, maybe two children. They have a task at times just dealing with their two kids or maybe one kid. Here goes these teachers are going into the school and we want them to perform at the highest. When they now are dealing with our kids, they want to be able to know that the teachers are doing the job that they are being paid to do. And you got 30 kids, maybe even 40 sometimes in the classroom. And I'm saying to you is that we have to consider the conditions and the things that these people are going out. And when they say to you, hey, we need a raise or we need a bump up or whatever it is, for whatever reason, you have a lot of teachers that are in education that do not own their own homes. They are paying rent. You have to be able to evaluate, to be able to get reports, and to understand what these people are going through on a mental basis every day. So not only that, they may be uncomfortable paying rent to a landlord over $1,000 a month, but here goes, they got to come to school and maybe riding a car on empty. This is things that people say is taking place. And you have to perform and deal with all the issues that every one of those different children are coming into the classroom and they're bringing different situations. And you have to be able to deal with that, evaluate that, and still be able to traverse through everything that is taking place and be able to make those children know that they're loved and that they can be able to perform at the highest level.
I like that, man. I like being able to have that kind of a conversation. I think all of this spills into one thing or another. We're going to have a conversation about housing. Had a great conversation most recently with Minister Keith Bell. Mm-hmm. And so we'd like to hear about land reform and housing. Most recently, he would have been down in San Salvador.
Yes, San Salvador.
Being able to give 11.
18, I think it was 18.
It was 18?
I think it was 18 or 11 houses.
Anywhere from 11 to 18, let's do that, so everybody get touched. But I think it was 11, but I read. Gave away those particular keys, and a lot of persons finding themselves in this kind of a position. He hasn't stopped from the last administration and being able to step over now. He was giving out, making sure that persons get their land taken care of, generational property that we're sitting on, they can now be able to say that they have paper for it. Mose Island, I'm sure you know about this.
Regularization in most cases.
Regularization in those particular areas. And so we'd like to be able to see that, and we'd like to know whether or not, because there's one time ago, in 8 Mile Rock, I'll give you this, in 8 Mile Rock at Martintown Primary School, right across the street from the Martintown Primary School, there was a government complex area. And in the government complex area, there was maybe about 6 houses, right? This was for teachers. These were for persons who would have been able to serve the community, frontline workers, whether or not they were teachers or doctors or the commissioner or whoever these particular persons were. There's an area that's designed for that and being able to assist these persons. I think we need to be able to get back to the accommodation aspect, and I think we got to look beyond this kind of this idea whether or not you're going to another space to be accommodated. You got to be able to accommodate some people here also.
I agree. I 100% agree.
You got to accommodate some people here also.
You know, this is what takes place when an evaluation is taking place. You have supervisors and so forth throughout in the schools, right? Mm-hmm. And so, you know, when they're being evaluated, we have to find out from the teachers what positions are they in. Financially, are they okay? And these are things that are taking place. So, because if you make between $34,000 and $38,000 a year as a teacher, and you take out the car payment, the rent, let's say you don't own your own home or you don't own your own piece of property, you don't own none of these things, but you're paying the rent diligently.
And then on top of that, you can fix your whole class.
Yeah, you're fixing your class. Most of the time, some of my teachers...
You take the same money which you get paid to fix up the class and buy material and do this and do that and decorate the class.
There is a teacher, Mrs. Wilmot. I think she teaches at the L.W. Young. She started the entrepreneurship program. I mean, that lady goes away and she takes her money and she buys everything for her classroom, let alone some of the things for her kids. And so sometimes the teachers take on the approach that these kids are their kids. This is how we grew up. We grew up where there was a teacher there, and she wasn't just a teacher, but she was a secondary mother. Or maybe if it's a male, then it was a secondary father. So these are the people that you look to and you look up to and say, hey, I want to be like that. I want to inspire to be like that. Or they inspire you to do some other things. But we must be able to look at them and say, hey, listen, you paid your landlord $1,000 for the last 10 years, but you had a bank sales that you're not approved for a mortgage. You know, what do? Can we get the landlord then to maybe write a letter of confidence within a letter that'll say, I know this person, they've been paying me for 10 years. Here goes, this is a letter good standing. And they can take that and look at that and say, hey, maybe we can use that. Because if I can afford to pay $15,000 and $1,000 a month for 10 years, but don't own my own home, because whatever reason financially...
It's $180,000.
Here I go. Here goes the situation.
That's $180,000, sir.
That's the math.
That's a lot of money.
That's the math.
For 10 years.
That's the math.
You could have owned this thing.
That's the math.
A small, you could have been able to get yourself a low-cost home, a government home, and essentially own that.
But if these incentives are made, persons are saying, we want the doctors, we want the nurses, we want the teachers, we want these people to relocate to the Family Islands. We want development throughout the Family Islands. If it's truly that we want those developments to happen, we have to be able to grant some level of incentive that those persons will be able to go there, relocate there, and not just going there and relocate there, they have some place that they will call home.
Yeah.
And because they call it home, they'll do the best right in there.
Yeah.
They're going to go there and they're going to live there.
Yeah, I like this, man. I like this kind of the idea of being able to do that. I like looking across the board about these particular things. I want to know whether or not they're going to be able to extend this sort of an idea to the potential 130 or potential 300 that's coming in from an external standpoint. Listen, if you, whatever favor or grace that you're going to extend to these particular persons potentially that's coming in for the other islands, package that in one way or another.
Listen, we should
for
be
the
able,
local persons.
We should be able to consider
listen,
this.
People need incentives.
They need incentive. They need incentive.
You didn't want to hear it.
If you want a productive movement.
You didn't want to hear it. Most recently, I would have been able to see something, I think, I think it was in Baltimore, where teachers are actually paying the children every week to show up to school. If you're a senior and you show up to school, you get $100. If you're a junior and you show up to school every week, you get $50 every week. That's potentially $200 for the juniors a month, and $400 for the senior a month, just for being able to show up and identifying yourself in attendance.
That's mind-blowing. That's wild.
It's mind-blowing, but we don't know the statistics associated with not only failure, because a lot of things are happening now. A lot of things are happening. In the United States of America, based upon your jurisdiction where you are, they make a determination as to whether or not you're being able to stay open,
or close it down.
Or close down if your children are non-productive or non-performing. So, if you're convinced that you could save 50 teacher job, 100 teachers job, and you look at your budget, you make a determination by this particular thing, then you have to do what? Introduce an incentive for sustainability. This is no suggestion that we do these particular things locally. An incentive for me was Technical Cadet Corps. Technical Cadet used to pay us, I think monthly or quarterly, I can't remember, but all I know, I had money to go to learn technical drawing and this and that and so forth and so on. And I was enthusiastic to do it and participating in it because there was an exchange. Incentives are essential. Incentives are essential. One of the things that we have in...
It sends a message. I see you. I see you.
Yeah.
I see the work that you're putting in.
Yeah.
And we're prepared to be able to give you something for the work that we know that you're doing.
Yeah.
People do more work.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that that's what we need to be able to do and look at that. I think it's important. I'm not here suggesting that you give the little children $100 just for showing up. You know what, education? I'm not suggesting that. I'm simply saying to you that across the board, we need to understand if you're looking for local teachers to come in, if you're looking for these particular things, let's find a way for there to be reciprocity, not just with the salary, but with incentives. The world has become a community now. Quick break, guys. Let's take that, and we're going to be right back after this.
Behind every strong economy is a bold entrepreneur, and we're here to support them, island by island. On Long Island, we've helped 77 entrepreneurs turn their dreams into thriving businesses. Through over $1.9 million in approved funding, the SBDC is strengthening Long Island's economy by investing in its leading sectors: fishing, transportation, and agriculture. No matter the island, every business we support strengthens the economy, starting with yours. SBDC, Bahamas.
When all dogs are hungry, you have to feed them to make sure they stay healthy. You have to feed them every day.
Back, ladies and gentlemen, this is The Rundown. I'm Howard Grant, grateful to be with you. It's Wednesday night, a political round table, as we continue to be able to talk about national issues here with my resident political analyst and being able to contribute to great conversation. I'm always always enjoy his company. Being able to do that is none other than Ian Munnings being able to talk with us today about those things. Ian, one of the things that we did not talk about is what I want to be able to mention. I want to talk about this. You got to give me a little space to talk about this.
Let's talk about it, Howard.
The Minister of Education, we stayed on education. The Minister of Education came to the forefront most recently as being able to talk about the slipping grade in math and how the children needs to be able to learn math in these areas. I gotta say something. I gotta say this. Some things have shifted over the years. Most recently, I had a very good conversation with SAC and the alumni associated with SAC. And in that conversation, they started to talk about community and the camaraderie and the fact that they instill this level of pride and passion and why they kept that kind of competitive nature alive that existed. And as I listened to that conversation, I recalled a great deal of conversation from a great deal of persons throughout the country that would speak with pride about the government high. Back in the day, they said the government high.
The real government high.
The government
My
high.
government high.
Right? My government high, right? And as they spoke about that, the one thing that remained constant is the pride and the competitive spirit that existed in these particular spaces to say that we are number one. Okay? Competition is dead in this country, as far as we can tell. It continues to be able to thrive in SAC. And if they can't find someone to be able to contend with and compete with externally, they do it internally.
Yeah.
They're in strategic positions all around the country, and they're doing well, they're doing great. How do we now get ourselves back to the position where there is competition, where there is an idea for growth and development, where there is an idea or a course that you could be able to see that there is a future for me? I just want to say this. Little children don't need to count. I know the minister ain't gonna like me saying something like that. Little children don't need to count no more. From 2010, with the introduction of AI
count for them.
These little children, from the introduction of these smartphones and the cell phones,
they count for them.
The little children don't need to count no more.
We had when we were younger, we had to count.
The phones get smarter and the children get dumber. I said to you just the other night that these children are finding themselves in the position where they've created their own language. And this language can be read in the United States of America, North America, South America, no matter your position, no matter your ethnicity, no matter your language. This language, which is hieroglyphs on the people's cell phone, all the little pictures you all sell and the gift and so forth and so on, they describe entire paragraphs that all of us are absolutely, we don't know what the hell these children, we don't know what these children, these are hieroglyphs. They've taken us back to the time of cave people. We have become social and modern day Neanderthals in a sense, essentially. Because they've created their own language and rejected the systems and the traditions that existed for them to be able to move forward. My point to you is, We got to figure out a way as a traditional audience who understand different values, who've grown in different spaces. We got to understand how can we get our younger people involved, encouraged, or even have an idea with a passion to be able to move forward into our systems.
Definitely, I think integrating them in certain departments and areas throughout the Commonwealth is important. We look at the
Either they're going to have an appreciation for tradition, or
Definitely.
we're going to have an appreciation for technology.
Nationalism throughout our country has gone down tremendously. We're talking about national pride. We're talking about when you compete against schools. What school you went to?
8 Mile Rock High. 8 Mile Rock High.
When you guys
Rocks or shots. I just want to be very clear.
When you guys came to Nassau to compete in GSSAs or P3As or whatever it may be, you were competing.
The Vitamin tournament.
You were competing.
Oh yeah, we take that home a couple times.
We took that to heart.
Yeah.
Because whether you was from
we from a different era though.
Whether you were from St. John's, whether you were from
pride.
South, we had this sense of pride within our country. You know, we believe in not school pride, the country pride. Everything was nationalism attached to it. Now we're not seeing so much of that at this point. We're not seeing it. We're not seeing it.
And that's what I want to say. You know, sometimes it just sounds like criticism for the sake of criticism simply because you come to the forefront, but I see this in a particular light. I see this in a way that I think that we are trying to do our best to contort or have the younger persons contort into the way that we would have learned, into the way that we've experienced, into the pride that we had as a people, into the necessity for understanding that we needed to learn, into an understanding that our minds needed to be manipulated and developed into an understanding of what education is. But times have changed. And we, as a part of this, we are a cog in the proverbial wheel of what's happening from a global standpoint. We need to find our space here. Like I said, either we are going to have a greater appreciation, need to have a greater appreciation for the progressive technology that exists, and how can we conform to be able to identify that and apply ourselves accordingly, or we're going to have to stop time and make these younger persons have a greater appreciation for our traditions and our position. The only place, based upon what we've been talking about lately, that I've been able to see that can be able to show that and have a hybrid of both tradition and technology is that kind of a passionate conversation. And you're going to be able to see that tomorrow, on Friday, I'm sorry, that passionate conversation that I had with SAC. That's it. No place else you hearing persons talking about this pride, this sort of an idea about what exists in these particular spaces. No place else you're going to be able to see that. And so either you get the young children enthusiastic about yesterday, or you get yourself prepared and calibrate your mind to being able to see the future. Talk to me. How are we talking?
We have to also adjust ourselves, Howard, we have to see our country not just as we are literally in this space. We have to look at all of the neighboring islands and countries all around us. We have to look at the global world. We have to look at the setting of everything moving. Then we have to diversify ourselves. We have to diversify our people. We're looking at school students that are leaving, let's say the high schools. They're leaving the secondary schools and they're leaving and they're going into BTVI at 18. Here goes schools throughout those Caribbeans like Jamaica, Trinidad and Tobago, etc. They have a system where at grade 7 they send you through a process, whether you are smart book-wise or you're maybe a technical person. We have persons in this country now, a lot of expats we have in our country, a lot of expats, and so we're bringing in technical persons in different and various areas because there's no Bahamians to hear. Either if they're there, they're in small numbers, or they maybe not be able to, they're not there at all. We look at Bay Street. We've been in the tourism market, as simple as Bay Street, and we're seeing all of the jewelers that are downtown, and we imported a lot of those Indians that are sitting in those spaces as gemologists. Yet you can't find at least 5 Bahamian gemologists on Bay Street, which is your front line. So areas and things of this nature, we must be able to start to look at. When are we going to train our underwater welders? Look at Grand Bahama, one of the largest container ports within the region. How many Bahamians that are trained not from El Salvador or Ecuador or any Belize or wherever else, how many Bahamians that are chartered in a school or so forth that we are now taking to the next level to do this particular kind of work. Well, and if we do not do that, then we are lost as a people because we will be servants to everybody else and there is no technical training.
Genuflecting to the concept and idea that, you know, the madness that rises from the community, right? The community say, oh my God, all our children dumb, they keep getting D, right? I keep trying to explain to you, for the conditioning that exists in this society, for the government school that I went to, and for the language I know that it still exists, the conditioning that exists in this society that says to you, prepare yourself to go get a job in somebody's hotel, or ask somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody who know an MP if you could get one job in the government place. You do not need education for these things. You don't want to hear this. The little children already didn't understand this. They only need to be trainable, teachable, coachable. And once they have these particular elements, it don't matter whether or not they have learning deficiencies. They can get a job and they can find themselves in this position. You have never really amplified the idea of, and never really celebrated, and never provided anything for those persons who have education. I never forget former Prime Minister Christie would have been able to go to an event, I can't remember what church, I think it was Salem Church, whatever church he was at the time, and being able to identify those things, speaking, and the young man had 7 BGCSEs and with A's and or whatever the case may be, and the Prime Minister took it upon himself to find opportunity for that. How many other persons are falling through the crack because we don't celebrate education anymore? We don't celebrate the opportunity. We haven't provided an ascension for persons to move from one space to another, whether or not you're private, whether or not you're public. We got to be able to give back to our students and for them to have a greater pride of who we are as a people, for them to have a greater pride for who we are in a nation. We got to be able to have some level of reciprocity. It can't be give to the government and you just suck us dry. Let's just be decent with this. Talk to me.
I agree with that. You're talking sense, Alan. And I think that a lot of people need to hear that.
It got to be reciprocity here. You got to incentivize the children. Once you provide an incentive for the children got to be able to see an ascension path. They just can't see that the older fellas are sitting in this position for years. And when you get on the job and you're smart and you got your master's degree and you get all these particular things, the old fellas say, well, boy, you have to wait for me to go. And then you got to go fight somebody else for that. Now you got to figure out if you got to elect the boss, to get a job, to get promoted. It's too much. It's too much. We got to be able to give right where right is and find a way to be able to support and provide a path of ascension for those persons who are really giving to our country. Not just being able to say, scream out, you need to learn to count. Count for what? You only can give me no job, no how.
The sick part about it is this. The world isn't changing. The world has changed. You see how you said the introduction of AI and all of these particular things? You have young persons, 16, 15, 17, 18, who are creating apps, and tomorrow morning they're turning billionaires.
Well, let's talk about that, man. I want to thank you guys so very kindly for being able to tune in with us this evening. That does it for us here at The Rundown. Be sure you stay locked in on ZNS Network for the Bahamas Tonight at 11 p.m. is the final newscast in the country with the latest in news and information with Corville Pyfrom from all of us here at ZNS. I'm Howard Grant, and thanks so much for joining us.
Bahamas, we are all different. Different backgrounds, different experiences, different perspectives.
But when it comes to saving lives on our roads, there's something we can all agree on.
Road safety isn't political.
It's personal.
Every life lost is someone's child, someone's parent, someone's friend.
And every one of us has a role to play in preventing the next tragedy.
Slow down.
Stay focused.
Put the phone away.
Never drink and drive.
Let's look out for one another and make it home safely.
Because one life lost on our road is one too many. One life too many.
of the Road Act to save lives and to prevent injuries on our streets. They apply to all road users, whether you're a driver, pedestrian, cyclist, or motorcyclist. We want to help you.
Remember, obey the merge sign.
The first vehicle that arrives at the stop must proceed with caution. I am Police Constable 3400 Arnold Wilson. As you drive on the streets, there are many signs that can help you find your way. I am at Fleming Street and Blue Hill Road, where there's a stop sign posted, which means that you must come to a complete stop before entering Blue Hill Road, which is a one-way traffic. The arrow indicates that you can only travel in one direction that it is pointed. There's also a no entry sign posted here and other roadways that you are not allowed to enter. These signs and markings would help you reach your destination safely. Paying attention would reduce the likelihood of an accident. We are at Sanford Drive and Marlin Drive, which is a four-way stop. No driver has the right of way, which means if there's four vehicles at the intersection, the first vehicle must proceed with caution. You must come to a complete stop